sentences. Then I will talk about, or we will focus on language and style. Which language do we use? Do we use informal or formal, etc. Also, we will focus on time linkers. Time linkers, for example, we have time clause and main clause, before and after and will, when and while. We can use these time linkers to make our sentences strong and beautiful, and to also combine two actions in one sentence. Before the last one, we will talk about outline, how to make outline to your story or narrative. Then we will write task. Now, where is it? Now let's have discussion. This discussion, two questions. Do you play tricks? Do you play tricks? What's the trick? What is the tricks? On your friends, why and why not? When we check for the meaning of the word trick, we can find it here in page 50. Yes, trick is a difficult act that needs skill to be performed. Can you do any tricks with your bicycle? Any tricks like strong movement and creative movement? Okay, then let's answer these questions. What is the best trick you have ever played on someone, or someone has ever played on you? I will give you 1 minute to think about the answer for these questions from your experience, okay? Because we have a limited time, so I will answer the question as a suggestion answers. Do you play a trick on your friend? Why and why not? Actually, I do, yes. I do play a lot of tricks on my friend because we all have great sense of humor. It's fun, exciting time. And laugh a lot with the tricks we play on each other. This is a kind of answer if your answer is yes. But if your opinion is no, so you can say no, I don't, because it's not nice to put your friend in a difficult situation, bad situation, okay, and hard, and make them feel uncomfortable, okay, or embarrassed. The second question, what is the best trick you have ever played on someone, or someone has ever played on you? This is a short story. As a suggestion story can make sense, and you can use it when you're writing your story or narrative. My brother played a good trick on me. Played, past simple, okay? He was away studying at university, and the whole family was expecting him to come home for a few days because we were celebrating a special occasion. That means his brother will come back from the university to celebrate with them that occasion, okay? And while we were waiting, here I use while as a time linker. we were waiting for him at the airport, comma, this is the time clause or while clause, and this is the main clause who describe that time clause. He phoned me to tell me that he had missed his flight. Oh, and would not be able to come after all. So he missed his flight. He will not come as he said to his brother. Okay, we were all very disappointed, especially my mother. She missed him. We drove back home in silence and nobody talked. And as we were entering the house, here's the trick. We saw my brother there. He said, surprise, I am here after all. He had taken an earlier flight just to play a trick on us and was waiting for us at home with gift for everyone. Okay? This is the answer for the questions, and now let's go to the other part. Can you check this, please? Hello? The task completion and style with organization. Read the rubric, this is, and story below. This is the rubric and story below. Then answer the question that follow. You have decided to enter the competition for writing short stories, okay, on International Online Magazine. International Online Magazine, as you see here, it's like a magazine. The competition rules say that the story must begin with the following words. You must begin with the following words. Ammar couldn't stop laughing every time he thought about what had happened that day. What had happened that day, we don't know. We will explore it now, right now, inshallah. Quite an experience. It's exciting experience, okay? And this is the sentence that he told us to begin our story with. Okay, after that, he described his story. Can we look here? He and some friends spending few days in Dammam. They traveled to Dammam to spend few days, and they had decided to go where? Camping near beautiful beach. Want to make camping near beautiful beach in the area. The days has passed so quickly, running quickly. During their stay, they had visited many places, including the impressive Al-Khubar water tower. Water tower. This is the water tower. This is Al-Khubar water tower, okay? And in the nearby town of Al-Khubar, okay. And now it was their last day. This is the last day. They really wanted to make most of it, so as soon as time closed, as I told you before, they woke up, comma, the main clause, they set off. Set off, move from place toward another place, the beach, okay, as they all wanted to go fishing one last time. Okay, they want to go and fishing for one time, and it was the last time. The day started off uneventfully, no problem, nothing need to mention, okay? Everything worked quietly and smoothly until they decide to stop fishing. Okay, they stop their fishing and go to do swimming. It was particularly hot, especially that day. Ammar decided to join the fun, so he jumped the water too. He was swimming when suddenly he felt something brush against his leg. Brush. Okay, brush against his leg. That means it touched his skin. Shark. And there is exclamation. Sammy screamed and everyone ran out of the water. They go out. or ran out, went out of the water, leaving Ammar behind. Okay? He was so scared, afraid, that he couldn't move. A few moments later, Ammar heard his friend Sami giggling, laughing, but laughing loudly. Okay? He immediately, right now, knew that Sami was playing another one of his tricks again. So he relaxed and started laughing. When everyone else realized what had happened, they started chasing Sami, following Sami to catch him. Apparently, Sami had been waiting for the last day to scare everyone. Okay, that means Sami arranged everything and organized the trick from the first to the end. He had planned everything perfectly, accurately, and managed to make their last day unforgettable. Nobody can forget that day. Of course, he also gave Ammar a scary experience to talk about. Then, I have some questions about the passage or about the story that we have read. Look at the first question. What did Ammar and his friend think was in the water? What was in the water? Yes, of course, they thought that a shark was in the water. And second one, does the writer start the story in appropriate, suitable way? Is the prompt sentence changed at all? Let's look. Yes. Yes, he did. Or yes, he does. No, it is not. The prompt is changed. The prompt sentence isn't changed at all. Look at the third question. The writer uses narrative tenses in the story. Narrative tense. Narrative tense. Narrative tense means directly past time, past tenses. Find the underlying example of an action that happened before something else in the past. That means action happened before another action. Let's look at the answer. Okay. He and some friends were spending a few days in the Dammam, and they had decided to go camping near a beautiful beach in the area. Look at, there's two actions. The first one, spending few days in the Dammam. The second action is they had decided, and they had decided to go camping before they spending few days. From the first day, they had decided to go camping. So we use here, if you can see, we use here the time tense is past progressive, or we can use also past simple, and the other one which come before the first one is past perfect simple. Okay? And the other one here, when everyone else realized what had happened, they realized what had happened. But they started chasing Sami. So they realized what had happened, and after that starting chase Sami. The last one here, he had planned. Sami had planned from long time ago everything perfectly and managed to make their last day unforgettable. So he planned for everything and managed to make their day unforgettable. Okay. The second, the action that was taking place, when it was interrupted, cut by another action. Okay, we have an action and other action coming and cut this action from continuing. Let's check the answer. Okay, this is, he was swimming. Okay, the boy Ammar was swimming. Suddenly, he felt something brush against his leg. Okay, when he was swimming, something brushed his leg. So this come in the same time. These actions happened in the same time. Okay, we have here series of actions, steps or series of actions that happened one after the other in the past. Okay, we can use also in a series of action, we can use for transitions, then, next, after that. Look here, as soon as this is time close, as I told you, they woke up. What happened after that? They set up for the beach. Okay, they woke up, and after that they set off. This is a series of narrative. Ammar decided to join fun, so he jumped in the water. Okay, there is a series also. Sami screamed and everyone ran out of the water. After Sami screamed, they ran out of the water. This is a kind of narrative series, or a series of action to make a narrative. An action that had started and continued up to a certain point, to exact point, okay? So start and continue up to a certain point. Let's look the answer. Here, Sami had been waiting for the last day, okay, to scare everyone. This is the action, start and continued, okay, for a time to a certain point, which is the last day, to scare everyone. The last question here is the writer style formal or informal? Find example from the texts. Okay, the writer style is informal. For example, you can see in the story, couldn't, sharks, scary, etc. Let's focus on the language and style. Read the sentence with the highlighted adverb. Adverb, highlighted adverb. This is the one of the words kinds. In the story, how does the use of adverb improve the story? How does it improve the story? We can find it here. Okay, the use of adverb improves the style and make the story more vivid and exciting. Make the story alive, make the story funny, okay? And here we have some adverbs like luckily, occasionally, happily, obviously, cautiously, suddenly, completely. Look, we can see the last of the adverb usually come with ly. Usually come with ly. And adverb describe the action or the verb in the action. Okay, or how the action happened. Okay, we can say, for example, here, it was a beautiful spring morning and children were playing in the garden. They were playing happily. They doing something happy, so they playing happily. And luckily, Carl came out of the accident with only a few scratches. Scratches. It's like lines or like that on your skin from accident or from another thing. Okay. Luckily, and the other one is my best friend and I don't have much time to see each other anymore. We don't have any time, but we occasionally get together to chat and exchange, give and take what? News. After the climb up the mountain, we were exhausted. They climb up the mountain, and after that, they were exhausted. That means they were completely. The vet is veterinarian. Is the animal doctor approached the injured bear. Here is cautiously. Dennis had almost reached the top of the tree when the branch broke and he fell to the ground. So here we can say suddenly. Maria was upset and didn't want to talk to us. The answer here is obviously. Look at the adverb. Adverb makes the sentence vivid and exciting and more alive. Can we look here? How does the children play? They play happily. Okay, luckily because he is safe. Okay, here is occasionally. That means because they don't have time to meet each other, so they find this is good time. Completely, they don't have any power to move more, etc. Now, focus on time linkers. This is the last thing I will talk about today, and we will continue our lesson for tomorrow, inshallah. Look at the table below with time linkers, words, phrases that indicate the sequence of the event. Sequence of the event. A series of the events. Then read the story on page 50. Go back to page 50, please, guys, and read the story again and find more time linkers. There's more time linkers. For beginning, to begin your story, to start your story, there is initially, first, or at first. Okay? Then, when you want to continue your series, okay, and actions, you can use then, next, after this, or after that, and afterwards. Also, you can find in the story on page 50, go back to the story on page 50, and you will find more. A few moments later, they use also time here. Sorry. Yes, they continue the actions. Also, in concluding, at the end of the story, write finally, or in the end, or eventually. Eventually, okay. Others, we have other linkers also. Meanwhile, maybe come as the same time, the moment that gradually, since, by the time, before, in the meantime, we can find it in the other linkers. You can find other linkers in the passage here or in the story, during, as soon as, also these time linkers, until, when. All of these are time linkers. Okay, read the texts. Read this text and try to choose the time linker, the suitable time linker for this passage or for this text. I will give you 30 seconds. I don't have enough time, but for 1 minute. Take 1 minute to choose the right answer. Okay, the text is about adventure stories which have been told since or when the beginning of the time. I will use or I will choose since. Okay, look at the second one, before or initially. We start with initially usually. Okay, and here to continue your story or actions, I think gradually is better. Okay, and from this sentence, meanwhile, after comic books started being released and the new fan base of teenager was created. In the same time, books released and new fan base of teenager is created or was created. Here, by the time or next, I think this is step. We can say next, they rewrite the adventure again. At end, we can use before. Thank you for looking and giving your attention. Please revise this lesson, and tomorrow we will build our story together, inshallah. See you tomorrow.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم.